Yeah, it's kind of crazy how fast it came at me. Going through fall camp, we had some stuff going on. So, just Coach G just said he needed me to step up, and, that's what I had to do. So.
Alex, with IGC out for the season, have you guys kind of rallied around each other in that room and, did it have to pick up the slack?
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Isaiah's out. And we know he wants to be out there about just as much as anybody. So as a room, we're trying to, we realize that everybody has to step up moving forward. And even if all the young guys, they realize that they're going to have to, step up. So.
How did you see this team turn the page after Thursday? Do you think guys were able to see as much of the good stuff that was on film as some of the bad stuff?
Yeah, no, we just had some mistakes, especially towards the end of the game, but nothing that we can't fix. We've been practicing it the last couple of days, trying to do that, and we really just focused on the Minnesota game the day after, and now we're moved on to Colorado, looking ahead. So.
Based on what they did Saturday, was it pretty easy to move on really quickly based on what you saw from them?
Yeah, we realize that we're gonna have to be ready to go. They're a good team. They're fast. So it's going to be a battle on Saturday.
Alex, being from Nebraska, do you have a great appreciation for the rivalry with Colorado?
Yeah, I'm a little too young to have been able to watch those games when they were, pretty big-time matchups, but I've heard about all that stuff, and so I understand the importance of the rivalry and how big it is.
Who do you see stepping up in that wide receiver room?
Marcus is fully back healthy. He's a gamer. He's as good as any wide receiver in the Big Ten. So, and then Jalen Lloyd, Malachi, all those guys. Billy, he's been working hard. He's ready to have a big week this week, and just a lot of guys, Fleeks too. All those guys, Tyhon.
Back to those freshmen. What challenges do freshmen face as receivers, just getting up to speed and learning the playbook and all those things? How hard is the position you play as it relates to that?
They've gotten the playbook down now. The biggest thing, which is good for them, they got snaps last week, so they see how fast the game is compared to high school, and the physicality of the corners and safeties versus high school, especially in the Big Ten. So I think they stepped their foot in the water now. They tested it, and now they see what it's like. So I think they have an understanding, and they'll be ready to go Saturday.
How big a deal was it for you to just get that first game where you play a lot out of the way at this level?
Yeah, no, going into it, you're nervous because you don't know what to expect. But once you're in for that first snap, you realize it's just football. It's really just football. So you just go out there and play. And once you're in the middle of the game, you don't even think about it. You're just thinking about your assignment and how to help the team. And it just from there it's just football.
Was that your first game that you ever traveled as well?
No, I traveled to the Iowa game last year, so that was second time.
That's kind of been the message everybody we've heard from this week to make it about football. Outside of here, there's going to be a lot of talk about other things. So people are going to want to talk about the coaching matchup. It's a big deal nationally. How does that register with you guys inside the program? Right? I mean, are you aware of that talk? That it's,
Yeah.
It's Deion Sanders against Matt Rule, first-year coaches. Does that mean something to players?
Yeah, in this day and age, everybody has Twitter, Instagram. So if you look at all that stuff, you might buy into the hype. But what we've been talking about is if you look at all that stuff, you're going to get distracted from the game, and you won't be focusing on it. So, like I was talking about earlier, at the end of the day, it's just football. You just got to go out there and go, one-on-one against the guy across from you, and just do your job to be able to win.
Back to Minnesota for a second. What did that touchdown do for your confidence?
It's big because I think it was just after years of being here, of working, it just kind of signified that I feel like I belong, and that it was just a confidence booster. Like I'm like here and I can do this. I can hang with anybody, so it was big.
How did Jeff Sims respond to coming back to practice today?
Yeah, Jeff, even during the game, he wasn't ever down on himself. Even all the way until the final play. He was always on the sideline, picking people up. And sometimes you don't see that out of people when they have bad games. They might get down on themselves. But and then this week, Jeff's been a leader, and he's been about as determined as anybody to bounce back from that. He's a competitor, and he's going to bounce back on Saturday.
What do you think about Travis Hunter playing almost 130 snaps? Is that something that you could do?
He's probably watching the game, watching the film. To be able to do that much at this level is he's one of the most conditioned athletes I've ever seen in any sport. To be able to play, especially it was like 100-something degrees down in Texas, so being able to do that on both sides of the ball is pretty incredible. But we try to go out there and not think about names or faces, just think about he's just an opponent that we're going against, and just do our job.
That game, the last time Nebraska played there, 2019, I know you were in high school. Your brother was redshirting that year. Was it on your radar? Did you watch it? Do you remember anything about that atmosphere?
Yeah, I remember hearing some stuff about the atmosphere and the fans and all that. And I know it's pretty rowdy, and it's a good environment to play in. It's like what you dream of. So being able to go out there this week is going to be fun. It's gonna be exciting. But like at the end of the day, like I said, you can't be focusing on everything going outside of that or outside of the field and the game. You just got to worry about that.